Quanell, Quanell, I wanted to
Yes.
know. So the reward for information finding Maleah is $27,500, I believe. Do you qualify for the award
No.
now?
No. As a community activist, you don't get reward money from Crime Stoppers. That's been a standing policy for over 20 years from Crime Stoppers. You're not eligible as a community activist, advocate, etc., to receive a reward from Crime Stoppers. So Crime Stoppers doesn't give me any rewards. They never have.
Anything else, Quanell, that you want
Yeah.
to talk about? You know, this is good work that you're able to do in getting this stuff. But you know,
You know what's funny? A lot of people seem to think that I'll get Crime Stoppers money, and foolishly, people say things like that. But it is a written policy in Crime Stoppers that activists do not get paid by Crime Stoppers. It's been a standing policy for over 20 years. I've never been given a penny from Crime Stoppers, no matter how high that award would ever get. If it got up to 50 million, I couldn't get it.
I'm just curious, X, how did you get involved in the first place, even going back before Mr. Vince, but going back to Miss Bowen?
All right, dear brother, let me first say thank you for having me on your show.
Yes, sir.
I greet you, your co-host, and your listening audience in the greeting words of peace of Assalamu alaikum. Those words simply mean, may peace be unto you. Thank you for allowing me to share some information with you and answer your questions. I initially got involved in this case. The best friend of Brittany reached out to me on her behalf. She and I had conversations. And then after that, I actually spoke to Darion Vance's brother. And he and I had two conversations in detail at length. And then got back on the phone with her best friend again. And at that point, Brittany and I began to talk for a couple of days over the phone. And then we met face to face, and we began to have conversations for hours at a time, face to face.
Quanell also says he was not paid by Maleah's mother, Brittany Bowens, during the time he represented her.
My duty is to find Maleah. My duty is to the baby.
Quanell also says he was not paid by Maleah's mother, Brittany Bowens, during the time he represented her.
This is a man you love. This is a man you had a child with. Did you think he was ever capable of doing any harm to any of your children?
No.
Never thought
because
that?
that's not what I seen.
To think what this man has done in this case is to see this man as a monster. And she didn't see anything living with him that suggested he was capable of something of this magnitude. Even in his worst state, that he would do something like this. And so this has been a traumatic, shocking experience for her about a lot of this. You gotta understand a lot of these things that have been coming out now. When I sat with Brittany and told her that the things we had learned and discovered, the things that my organizational brothers who were out there speaking to tons of people, I was speaking to the stepdad's family, and the things that we had extracted and pulled. When I brought these things to her, you know, she's like shocked. Well, how do you know that? She was like, yeah, that's true. Well, how did you find out that? And I explained to her we had been diligently working on the case.
So what did Darian Vince's family tell you about him? What secrets?
I have to be careful because I know that this is going to be in a trial at some point. But what I got from them was their sole concern was the protection of him, not the whereabouts of Maleah. Their sole concerns was not to get him to help us find Maleah, but it was protecting him. And I said to them, I said, listen, what kind of man is kidnapped? A child that he loves, his stepchild, taken from him. He won't return phone calls. He's participated in no searches, won't speak to searches, hiding from police officers, won't speak to the mother. I said everything he's doing indicates he's guilty of something and that the story is a lie. And so their concern was to protect their loved one. Their first priority was not where is Maleah at all.
Brittany, have you ever been afraid of Darian Vince?
No.
Has he ever harmed you in any way?
No.
Verbally abusive?
No.
Physically abusive?
No.
The police have talked about the evidence in the apartment. Bleach, blood in the apartment, linked to Maleah. Everything seems to point to this man harming your daughter. Have you grasped that reality?
Still processing. Still processing that. It's hard for me to think about.
So, I want to ask you something, because you have brought this up in interviews. And this is a touchy subject. You have said in interviews that there was abuse in the home and Brittany was afraid to reveal it because she was afraid. You have put that out there.
Let me say this to you. My number one obligation is not to the stepfather, it's not to Brittany. My number one obligation is to that beautiful child right there, Maleah. Justice for her is the priority. Where she is the priority. Everybody else are adults. They have to stand on their own 2 feet and answer for whatever they've done. But that child is the priority. And let me be straight with you. This man has to answer. He has to answer for what happened before she came up missing. He has to answer for that. Because there's a lot more here. His mother had no idea that this child was leaving the house with him in the morning. He's saying, I'm taking the child to daycare. But only later to learn from the investigation from both HPD and us that he was bringing the child back home sometimes with him. What is your purpose to tell this mother while she's going to class or she's going to work, Maleah's at daycare, yeah, I took her to school, but come to find out she's at home with you? Why would you lie and say she's at daycare, but have her in the house with you? The very day that she went to the airport, picked up by her friend, she leaves out the house believing Maleah is at the daycare and didn't even know he had snuck her back in the house as she walking out the door. What you doing, brother? What are you doing to this child?
Are you saying there was abuse?
Hell yeah, I'm saying there's abuse. And there's a whole lot more.
And you're saying,
but let me say this.
And you're saying that
Brittany
was not aware.
Let me say this.
I want to be clear.
She was not aware of a lot that was going on.
You were not aware.
But one thing I'm going to do, because right now the priority is still finding Maleah. I'm going to say a lot more for what's over. And I'm going to point directly to the facts of it. But I want to first find Maleah.
We can all understand that. Brittany.
I don't want to do any questions. Not right now. I just want to let everybody know about the flyer. Is that okay? I just want to find Maleah.